Okay, so we're gonna look now on the hip lift in a perpendicular entry. So let's explore first the compositional relation between the flyer and me, the bass. So we're gonna stand one in front of another. And the first thing that I wanna do is just to mark the entry of how I'm gonna, let's move a little bit forward here, how I'm gonna enter the position. So we're starting being parallel to one another, and I just wanna make a step and become perpendicular to my partner. And when I make the step, I already make sure that the side of my pelvis, the greater trochanter, the bone of the leg, is touching my partner wherever I arrive. And here it will be really, you will see that it's very different when you work with somebody who is taller than you or somebody who is shorter than you. So again, I'm stepping and I'm touching with my hip my partner's body. Now, depending on the height relationship, I want to arrive to a point where my pelvis will be in my partner's hip joint. Now, where exactly? Here in the front. You can test it by folding your legs. When you fold your legs, you can feel deep inside is where you're bending the femur bone in your hip. And this, here there is a little bit of a concave space that I want to fit with my pelvis there. And if an image that you can have is that when you're starting to slide down on your partner's body, there is a moment that you will feel that the two shapes are completing, and it's almost like a Lego that clicks together. So again, I'm standing in front of my partner, I'm gonna take a step, and here I'm gonna start sliding until I feel, hup, now I'm located in that position. When I'm there, I can rotate a little bit, I can look at my partner, and now you're gonna start falling forward. And since I was exactly in your hip joint, I will be able to maintain the balance, no problem. Now, are you okay there? Mm-hmm, yeah. Sure. Okay. So one thing that is important, now I really want to make sure that I maintain the curve of my lower back, because if I'm going to round my back, prepare to fall. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to show it from the side. If I'm rounding my back now, whoop, I cannot hold my partner anymore. And you see, it's a very, very small movement from here to here. That's little tilt of the pelvis, and my partner is falling. So I want to make sure that I keep the neutrality of the back. Let's show the same movement, just that we're going to do it in a bit of a different angle. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to step here. I'm sliding down until I feel, okay, I'm in the hip joint. I'm rotating towards you. And now you can start falling forward into the support. Yeah. And here we're going to spend a little bit in this kind of centered position. And now when I want to bring my partner back, I'm just going to bend the knee in the direction of my partner's leg. And this will enable the horizontal surface that I'm supporting my partner to start tilting to the side and to offer them a gradual way into the ground. One last time. Let's switch the roles now. Maybe I will say something also about the flying. So yeah, we are perpendicular, you arrive, we are touching one another, you start to slide. Now, one thing that is very important for the flyer here, you went a little bit too down. Yeah, exactly. You don't wanna curve above your partner because it's impossible to fly like this. I wanna fall towards my partner, so I'm starting to fall forward and shift weight, hop. And then I'm arriving on top of my partner. If you can bring me back. Yeah. The typical mistake that many beginners are doing is that they curve, but they push the pelvis backward. If you, again, enter the lifting position. If I'm doing this, what am I doing to my weight? I actually take the weight more backwards. So then it will be impossible to end up on top of my partner. So from the point where I feel my partner is touching me in my hip, this point wants to stay glued to my partner. I don't want to disconnect this point. I just want to shift the weight through this point, similar to how we did before, that I felt this point and I was shifting through this point the weight. So now I'm just doing it through my pelvis, which is to some extent maybe a little bit harder to feel. But just trust that if you shift the weight properly, you will end up flying. And just make sure, again, in the different world, the most important thing for the bass is not to be on the heel, because this could be a little bit uncomfortable if somebody starts shifting weight and you're on your heel and you can both end up on the ground. So You can, even if you want to be a bit more conservative, when you start the exercise, before you shift the weight, you can test a little bit the table. Okay, it's stable. My partner is very stable, so I know I can allow myself to arrive and start flying. But with time, you will already sense through the hip if your partner is stable enough, so you don't need to test with the hands. But again, first few times, you can use it as an additional step to make sure that the exercise will function.